following KBLA Talk 1580 on all of our socials, then you're missing out. Download our app and find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and on the web at KBLA 1580.
That's right.
Again, you can find all of our socials at KBLA 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
By the way, if you miss any of our weekday shows in real time, you can always catch up by checking out the podcast of your favorite shows at your leisure. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black.
Follow the leader when the leader.
Oh my God.
Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader.
Happy Wednesday. Should be draped in purple. Shout out to Apollonia, one of her. I know, because why? Warner Brothers Music doesn't like us over here. No, I'm just playing. Listen, welcome in. You were locked in with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580. Here for your entertainment news update. And you know, because Andy is always on theme, we are talking tonight, Apollonia. She is suing Prince's estate. And it's a court battle over name and legacy. We'll get into all of those details. We're also talking Marvel Studios. They are packing up their Georgia operations. You know, for about the past 10 to 12 years, most of the interior shots in Marvel films have been shot in the Georgia area in studios, Tyler Perry Studios being among one. But now, after a decade of billion-dollar blockbusters, they're citing rising cost and labor savings, and they're headed overseas. So we're going to discuss that. We're also discussing Target CEO Brian Cornell stepping down. And there's a new CBS comedy coming from Kenya Barris and Mike Epps. It's set in a post-fire Altadena. We'll get into the details of all of that. But before we do, you know it's Wednesday. So that means we're getting all up in the business with entrepreneur, strategist, owner of Slay Hair, 3Ys, and Glow and Flow Beauty, Damon Haley. He's in the building. So we're going to be chatting with him about all of these business subjects, of course, because we're all up in the business, as well as his trip to Martha's Vineyard recently, because, you know, that is a black branding haven right now. And we want to keep you updated on that. So, oh, how can I forget this? I do have tickets tonight. I do have tickets to the Hollywood Bowl tonight. Look, Andy is like, oh my God, here she goes. I have tickets to the Black movie soundtrack at the Hollywood Bowl. One time for that. Not now, but later. Not now, but later. So sit tight. Make sure that you guys are ready and listening closely so you can win those tickets. So got a couple of conversation starters for you, as we always do. Brandy and Monica, we know that they're headed out on tour this fall. And they also have a new endorsement deal with Dunkin' Donuts. The drink is mine. The latte is mine. It's the cereal and milk latte combo. And the R&B divas are cashing in on the breakfast bag. So shout out to them. I'll take it. I love seeing them together. They look absolutely amazing in the clip that I saw. So, you know, hit up Dunkin' Donuts and try that. Also, we've been talking a lot of legal news lately that will continue tonight. And we mentioned earlier in the week, or maybe it was last week, that L.A. Reid is heading to trial with Drew Dixon over SA accusations, harassment, assault from 2000 to 2001. She also claimed he blocked some deals, ones involving John Legend and Kanye West. Well, L.A. Reid's lawyers have quit. So he is headed to trial pro se. That means no lawyer. He will be representing himself. You know what they sometimes say about the person who has himself as a client. They have a fool for a client. Anyway, the judge ruled he has to appear in court September 8th after his team withdrew. They are citing non-payment since February as the reason why they have withdrawn from the case. So we will see what comes to terms with that. Will LA find another lawyer or proceed as his own counsel? We will have to see. I'm interested in what develops with that. All right, guys. So as you see, we have a packed show for the evening. So I hope that you have grabbed your snacks, you got your beverages, you're in a comfortable seat, because we're going to get into these trending topics and headlines when we come forward. All of that and more. You're locked in with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Are you ready for the hottest entertainment scoop in Los Angeles? She's bringing you exclusive interviews with today's biggest stars, behind-the-scenes Hollywood insights, and all the entertainment news you need to know. She's breaking down what's trending, what's ending, and what's just beginning in the world of entertainment. You're riding with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Is reviewing life insurance on your to-do list? Now's the perfect time to add it. A friend recently told me that securing life insurance sooner rather than later can help you lock in lower rates for years to come. So I bumped this up on my list and got it done. I called SelectQuote and couldn't believe how easy and affordable life insurance is. I'm 40 and got a $500,000 policy for $16 a month. My husband's also 40 and his $500,000 policy was only $18 a month. Plus, with SelectQuote's same-day coverage, there was no medical exam required, and we were covered by the time we hung up. Knowing I have this checked off my list feels amazing, but the peace of mind knowing my family is protected feels even better.
Call SelectQuote at 1-800-729-7070. That's 1-800-729-7070. Or go to SelectQuote.com to get your free quote today. That's 1-800-729-7070. Details on example rate at SelectQuote.com.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 reminds you, when we fight, we win. The Youth Justice Coalition is challenging America's addiction to incarceration and discrimination. YJC works to dismantle policies leading to mass incarceration, law enforcement violence, and the school-to-prison pipeline. Their approach, transformative justice, community intervention, free LA high school, legal defense, and system monitoring. YJC promotes safety without relying on prisons. Their goal, prevent system contact and help people exit the system through direct action, advocacy, and education. Want to get involved or need help? Call 323-235-4243. That's 323-235-4243. Join YJC in creating change. When we fight, we win. KBLA Talk 1580, your voice for justice. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Are you ready to be a part of the conversation that will help shape our nation's future? Get ready to join us for the Left Coast Forum, Saturday, October 25th at LA Trade Tech, where progressive voices will come together to tackle the issues that matter most to working families across Los Angeles and beyond. From economic justice to climate action, from healthcare to housing, we're bringing together the brightest minds and most passionate advocates for real solutions and real change. With workshops, 2 major keynote addresses, and a closing reception with great music and good food. It's the Left Coast Forum, where your voice matters and your ideas take action. Saturday, October 25th at LA Trade Tech. Brought to you by KBLA Talk 1580 and the LA Progressive. The future won't wait, and neither should you. Mark your calendar now to be there and be heard. Stay tuned to KBLA Talk 1580 for more details.
Now back to more entertainment news with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Welcome back in. You are locked in with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580. So, of course, you know how this goes down. If at any point during this conversation you want to jump in on it or you want those tickets, 800-920-1580. That's the phone number. Of course, you can hit us up on social media, KBLA 1580. I'm at Stiletto Jill. We have an app. It's updated, brand new, especially for you. Go download that, check it out. And my favorite part, the YouTube chat. Jump in the YouTube chat so that you can add the visual to this audio experience. There's always a great conversation happening over there. All right. I mentioned it's Wednesday, and you know Wednesdays are when we get all up in the business. So we have with us entrepreneur, strategist, author, co-owner of Glow and Flow Beauty and Slay 3 Wise Hair, Mr. Damon Haley in the building. Welcome in, Damon. How are you?
Hey, I'm good. I'm great. I'm fabulous. How you doing?
I'm good.
That's what's up.
So I want to ask you, because you were missing last week, missing in action. July and August have been busy travel months for you, life of an entrepreneur. You were in Martha's Vineyard. You were at Oak Bluffs. We saw a lot of people there, a lot of brand activations, things happening. There's a film festival. There was various, production companies and brands doing houses and events. We saw all the beautiful Black people in the space, right? We've been, obviously, it is historically someplace, the Inkwell, where the Black and Fabulous have congregated over the years. Anyway, it's been the spot, right? But as of late, it has taken on sort of a new level of awareness, a heightened level of awareness. So talk to me a little bit about your trip, some of the brand experiences that you had, and why this is now a summer focal point as far as for strategy for all types of brands.
Well, I had a great time. Call it a quasi-Black Wakanda, where we really are community. Everyone's speaking, everyone's joyous, everyone has a great attitude as soon as they get on that island. So it's something about the water, it's something about the beach, all of that. So had a really good time. I did notice, and it's not the first time I've been there, even though being a West Coast guy, and New Yorkers and Bostoners and DCers and all that, they know about Martha's Vineyard. And it's an island, and obviously you had rich white folks there, and then you had service providers. And those service providers were Black folks that stayed in Oak Bluffs. And so then you have Edgartown and Vineyard Haven as other spaces that are a little bit more exclusive. So Oak Bluffs is kind of like, quote unquote, the Black area or heavy Black concentration. So I know friends because of my history of just working in New York, Chicago, different places. They've been going there for decades, and families and all that kind of stuff. So it's very new because the Obamas actually, if I could put a finger on it, most people think when the Obamas start coming in, that's when it became kind of what it is now, and the coverage.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
So when I think about, my first exposure to it was probably the film The Inkwell, so early 90s, 92, 93, Jada Pinkett, Lorenz Tate, Matty Rich directed, didn't he write it as well?
Yes, he did.
A.J. Johnson, Morris Chestnut, et cetera, fantastic cast. But I also think to about 97, 98, maybe before, with Diddy and his infamous white party that he used to take there. But was that more the Hamptons proper, where he brought that level of cool, for lack of a better word, or culture to the white side of the Hamptons, or was it always kind of across?
Well, the Hamptons is New York.
Right.
Martha's Vineyards is Massachusetts.
But same kind of thing.
So, we bring that.
Yeah.
But, I think that whole New York extension of the Hamptons, absolutely, he brought that. And he did it in Saint-Tropez, too. So it's kind of like when we show up, we show out, and it becomes all of that. And what I was sharing is from just in 2023 to now, it is more brands. So you do get Afrotech, culture house, piece. You got private wealth people doing things. You got sports. Like I was surprised to see in sports, like Nico was down there and Worldwide West.
Shout out to Nico Harrison. Yeah. Is he president of the Mavs?
GM,
or is he GM?
Of the Mavs,
Okay,
GM of the Mavs. And you saw, Wes, who was with New York, Nick. So now there's sports people coming. So it is being overrun by commercialism. And that's what the old school OGs, so to speak, have been saying, at least the first 2 weeks. And then you have the film festival. And with the film festival, you have a book festival, and then there's art. So that first week you have art. The second week you do have an invasion of brand. And you can go, like, everywhere. Like, for instance, I went to a spot. It was a $5 cover to go in. The next night it was Uptown, the Uptown Party, It was $150 to get in. And I'm like, damn, like, wow, So it is being more commercial. But the sweet spot is just the private parties. It's just moving around and knowing kind of where to go, who to connect with. But it's all love. But it's becoming different levels now.
I mean, you're connected. That's, of course, how you're going to know. Andy, you look like you have something to add to the conversation.
Yeah, inquiring minds want to know if you went to Inkwell Beach to become a polar bear.
You said if I went to Inkwell Beach, what?
To become a polar bear. It's a thing that they have. Like, what is the word that I want to use for it? A what?
Tradition.
Tradition. That's it. Okay. That's it. It's a tradition where, like, I believe it's early in the morning.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not explaining it properly.
No, it's a lot of people who go down there at 6 a.m.
Yeah. Listen. I want you on the mic, though. Please be on the mic.
I'm listening to my favorite Joe Munroe, and as somebody who frequents Martha's Vineyard, and is a proud polar bear.
Okay.
I mean, really, every time I go to the island, I do the polar bear at least one time from July 4th through Labor Day. The sisters get together every morning, 7:30 in the morning. And you got black people getting in the water at the Inkwell. It's part water aerobics. It's part meditation. It's part prayer. Mm-hmm. And it is one of the most beautiful experiences on the island that's available to everybody. When I went, we broke the record. 325 black folks in the water at 7:30 in the morning.
Wow.
176 new polar bears. Get into it.
Okay, so this is now added to my bucket list. It was already there, but this whole experience.
Well, a quick question. Did you do the actively black photo?
The one on the Inkwell with the spill mob?
Yeah.
I left the day before, so I didn't have a chance to participate, but they held it down.
Yeah. So there was actively black spill. They did a joint, a day in the Inkwell, kind of like a great day in Harlem.
Okay.
So you had that kind of action, and I actually was going to that, but I got caught up. I saw somebody I knew on the way, and we talked through the whole thing. But you see polar bears, like you see the polar bears coming back from where I was staying. You'd see them coming back at about 7:30, 8, whatever, at the biscuit joint over there. So it's that kind of vibe. When we come together, I would say it is a bucket list. It's on my calendar every year to consider.
All right. Well, I'm adding it to mine. Shout out to Dr. Q in the building. Yes, that is his voice. You still hear it. He came in like the voice of the ether, the ethos. Yeah. That's what I mean, the ethos, not the ether. And blessed us with those Inkwell facts, which I love this conversation. I love how there's different aspects of it. The thing that I appreciate most is legacy, that there is legacy there, that there is newness being introduced to it. I know that the elders are probably upset at the disruption, but I do think with all things, you have to sprinkle in some of the new to keep things going, to keep the tradition as something we value as we move forward. Because I think a lot of the reason why we've lost some of our legacy brands is the value that we were supposed to see in them was lost along the way because we started feeling like it wasn't for us. But those are just my thoughts.
And I saw Spike Lee on Inkwell Beach.
Shout out to Spike.
Yeah, just walking, rolling, and I said, "Oh, my friend, I think that's Spike." And I yelled out, "Spike!" And he just said, "Hey," and kept it moving.
Shout out to Spike. I have an interview coming from Spike Lee on Friday and a couple other sports legends, but we'll talk about that later. Okay, so listen, I'm a big Prince fan. Love Prince. I loved Vanity 6 more than Apollonia 6. That's no shade.
Me too.
Just Vanity came first. Met them both in my youth. So shout out to them both. But Apollonia Cotero, we know her real name is Patricia or Patty. She is suing Prince's estate over the rights to her name, right? She is suing because out of the blue in June, Prince's estate filed a trademark to Apollonia for clothing and entertainment services. Apollonia, the name. And they even asked the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office to cancel her existing trademark. Now, Apollonia is maintaining that she has been Apollonia for 40 plus years, since Purple Rain, which debuted in 1984, to her current podcast, Apollonia Studio 6. She has worked as an actress under that name, in addition to her work in the group Apollonia 6. She also worked as an artist, right, independently under that name. Prince never objected to her using the name while he was alive. He never put any legal issues or intent to her. We never heard about that. And neither Paisley Park nor Sony Music has contested it until now. Her attorney says she fully expects to prevail in protecting her name, right? But it is kind of interesting. They want her to be held to the contract that she signed in 1983 when she met Prince and signed up for Purple Rain, and thus, by extension, slid into the lead role of Apollonia 6, which obviously we know that role was intended for Vanity. DH, what are your thoughts on this as far as from a business perspective? Because I think this is a very interesting case.
Yeah, I think there's some art and there's some science to it. Meaning the science of it is when you do a trademark or copyright, it is for certain categories. And so if you don't have a certain category and you haven't paid for that, then you're not eligible for it. So if you talk about merch and all that kind of stuff, that might be a totally different category that she didn't apply for or assign for because it's costly to get full coverage. So I'm thinking she doesn't have that coverage.
But they want to cancel her existing one, period.
Well, then that has to do with the type of usage and the type of trademark she has, because if she can defend herself and say, I have been using that specific trademark or copyright, if you will, then it's a no-brainer. But if she has not been using it, that particular area that they're attacking, they can, because it's a non-use. I mean, I've had a couple of those come up, and all you do is just pay, and you keep the right to continue to use. Now, if you have it and don't use it, you can lose it. That's how copyright trademark works. But obviously, the art behind it is she is Apollonia, and she some way, shape, or form probably wants to be compensated, not only continue, but compensated and participate in how they are using her name and what she has established as an icon for 40 years.
I mean, and here's the thing. I think that she has a right to it because without her, there is nothing essentially. I mean, there is, but
she has created value.
Yeah.
For the name and the brand of Apollonia. I think the question is how much she gonna get, because she has something, because there is some equity in that she has developed and built and all of that. That goes without question. And they just trying to do what lawyers do, which is say, hey, let's not pay nothing. Let's get it all for free. And so now she counters and she comes and says, nah, you're not going to get it for free, but talk to me. Let's negotiate and let's take a feel for it. So I think she has rights and privileges because nobody else has used it. She is, when you think of, when you Google and get Apollonia, she's going to be at tops on the SEO. And she has some muscle there. She does have some rights and privileges there, and it'll just be a nice negotiation. But they have to at least say, we want it all, or do that, because just lawyers, with a day job just doing it over there at Warner Brothers or whatever. So they
No, it's Prince's estate. So
they just saying, hey, that's what we get paid for, to do stuff like this, to capture 100% for the estate and to get everybody else kind of aligned with us. So I think that it'll be negotiated. I don't think she'll lose. I don't think that Prince's estate will win. It'll be somewhere in the middle.
Okay.
Justifiably so. That's the way it should be.
Morris Phillips in the chat says her brand is her brand. Royal Jenkins says, I remember Vanity in The Last Dragon and Action Jackson movie. I know that's right. Step on the elevator, press number 7. That's all you have to do to get to 7th heaven. Yeah, that was my jam. I loved Vanity back then. And Pretty Brown Mimi says, so if the role was intended for Vanity, how did Apollonia end up getting the role? She auditioned. Vanity and Prince broke up. She quit the group. Boom, boom, bam, went solo. And so Prince showed her, in his mind, that she was replaceable. Mm-hmm. She wasn't, but she was, it worked. Obviously, Prince made a classic. Okay, now's the time. If you want to head to the Hollywood Bowl, Under the Stars, and hear some of the music from your favorite black films in the Black Movie Soundtrack Night at the Hollywood Bowl, call in. 1 pair of tickets, 800-920-1580. Let's go.
You're in the know with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Amber Payton with BIN News Now. Black Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson is addressing flooding concerns on the city's southwest side. He says FEMA will let his office know later this month about possible aid.
We need the state as well as the federal government to provide emergency relief for homeowners as well as our businesses.
After recent heavy rains left many basements flooded, officials are urging impacted residents to complete a damage survey by Friday afternoon. A new Gallup poll finds 64% of Americans believe racism against black people is widespread, matching a 2021 high. Among black adults, that number rises to 83%. And singer Tamar Braxton says she nearly lost her life over the weekend. In an Instagram story, she revealed she was found Sunday in a pool of blood with a fractured nose and missing teeth. Braxton, who's faced health challenges in recent years, says she isn't sure what caused the incident. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Delays in Sun Valley on the 5 northbound. Watch out for a backup. It starts coming up on Sunland Boulevard. Delays taking you ahead to the 14. Also, the 170 northbound is pretty slow from Sherman Way to the 5 merge. And the drive on the 14 northbound in Santa Clarita. Crowded leaving the 5, looking a lot better by Placerita Canyon Road. Slowing in Brea, 57 northbound leaving Lambert. You're on the brakes all the way to the 60.
Ignite your afternoons at Waba Grill's $5 happy hour with our 5-piece pork veggie dumplings and a value-sized premium beverage drink, like our tangy passion fruit lemonade. Enjoy $5 happy hour weekdays after 3 p.m. Only at Waba Grill.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
Tiger Woods has been named chairman of a 9-person committee given the task of making significant changes for the PGA Tour. The 15-time major champion will lead the Future Competition Committee to recommend improvements for fans, players, and sponsors. African-American tennis star Coco Gauff is looking for her third coach in 2 years. Gauff, ranked number 3 in the world, fired her coach Matthew Daly just 4 days before her first-round match Sunday in the U.S. Open in New York City. Daley confirmed Goff's decision Wednesday morning to a tennis journalist. The 21-year-old Goff has yet to comment on her preference for a new coach. Jackson State, the defending Black College football national champion, is favored to repeat as champions of the SWAC conference. Jackson State was 12-2 overall last year and 8-0 in the SWAC. They kick off the 2025 season August 30th against Hampton. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson. More news, opinions, and conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
Follow the leader.
KBLA Talk 1580.
Follow the leader.
If you're not following KBLA Talk 1580 on all of our socials, then you're missing out. Download our app and find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and on the web at KBLA 1580.
That's right.
Again, you can find all of our socials at KBLA 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
By the way, if you miss any of our weekday shows in real time, you can always catch up by checking out the podcast of your favorite shows at your leisure. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black.
Follow the leader. Following the leader. Oh my God. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader.
Thinking about going electric? Now is the perfect time. Electric vehicles cost less to run, don't need gas, and need fewer repairs than gas-powered cars. You can also save with federal and state tax credits, and in some areas, qualify for rebates on home charging stations. To learn more, visit www.breathesocal.org. That's www.breathesocal.org. Imagine a world without heart disease and stroke, where every person has the chance to live a full and healthy life. Join us for a walk to save lives at the American Heart Association's Greater Los Angeles Heart and Stroke Walk, Saturday, September 20th at the Rose Bowl. Every step made and every dollar raised means more people learning CPR, more life-saving research, and more time with the ones we love. Sign up at heartwalkla.org. The LA Heart and Stroke Walk is sponsored by Optum, UCLA Health, Keck Medicine of USC, and Dignity Health.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. If you need help getting your resume in order, finding job training, or landing a job, we've got 3 great options for you. First, the City of Los Angeles has WorkSource centers across the area offering free job support. The California Workforce Development Board can help you with everything from GED prep to vocational training at no cost to you. On the federal level, the Department of Labor's American Job Centers offer a full range of services for job seekers and businesses alike. Visit careeronestop.org, or for more info, just call California's Help Center or visit cwdb.ca.gov or call 916-657-1440. For the City of Los Angeles programs, go to ewd.lacity.gov or call 213-744-7300. All these services are free to help you get your next job. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
You're listening to Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
It's rather extraordinary, so your bus is commentary. A literary genius and a superior beat creator have come together, and we made a musical composition which we think is a remedy to cure all the dance floors. It's empty. You wanna dance? We got what you want. Jazzy Jeff and Fresh Prince buzzing out with a brand new funk. The way that it happened, one day I was rapping and on the beat Jeff was backing me up, and all of a sudden he brought in a cut and I dropped my microphone and said, what the, hold up, Jeff, wait a minute, play it.
Welcome in. You are locked in with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580. Shout out to DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince.
So we continue to listen to it. And we knew it was
deaf when I started rapping to it. This is when we knew Will Smith could rap. He could, hang. He wasn't just kiddie raps back in the day. Shout out to him. And listen, Black movie soundtrack at the Hollywood Bowl, right? It is Marcus Miller is the musical director, D. Nice, Warren G., Miles Canton. So you know you're going to get that Sinners vibe.
Nice.
Craig Robinson is hosting. Bun B., Jennifer Holliday, the original voice from Dreamgirls, right? Morris Day, Jimmy Jam, and Terry Lewis. So you got a mini The Time reunion jumping off right there. I don't even know. I think that Prince's estate sued Morris Day, too, about utilizing The Time as a group name as well, if I'm not mistaken, or is attempting to stop him from utilizing that. So maybe, that's why those three entities are listed as such, but they will be there together and hopefully on stage together. And Alvis Johnson, shout out to you because you are going. That is the winner. Big ups. Have an amazing time.
Nice.
Send me photos. I like that. All right, y'all. Listen. Oh, and don't worry. There's more concert tickets coming. So you guys have to make sure that you are tapping in each and every Monday through Friday, 6 to 7 p.m. because you never know when I'm going to be giving away the next pair. All right. So shout out to that conversation. Vanity was my favorite. We're coming up on 10 years since her passing this February. 10 years for Prince as well in April. So many people passed that year. 10 years. I believe Natalie Cole is happening December 31st of this year. 2016, we lost a lot of people. So, yeah. Andy, you had something on deck? Or did I just move it? I lost it with all of those.
Oh, yeah. You got any Breezy Ball tickets?
Look, if I have Breezy Bowl tickets, let me let you guys know
you
one thing.
You keep it for yourself?
I'm not giving them to you. Okay? I do not have any Breezy Bowl tickets. But if I did, those might not make it to air. I'm just kidding. You guys are VIPs, so I got to let you have the VIP experience, but I don't have any of those. We have a caller on the line. Fan fave here. Eric from Carson. Welcome in, Eric. I hear you want to talk about Apollonia.
Hey, what's up, Jill and Damon?
How are you?
What's up?
I'm good. Damon pretty much covered, what I was going to touch on was trademark versus contract. And, primarily contracts prevail. But I just wanted to say that, Prince's estate, this Prince legacy, they're foul. And, I just say that Prince did not have a problem with Apollonia using her name. She went through the trouble of getting a trademark. Whether it's the appropriate one or not remains to be seen. But the bottom line is that, like, Damon said, she's going to prevail. It's just a matter of how much. But I just think that, they're doing what they have to do, but big business stinks. And you're right, Morris Day went through the same thing, but they settled. And I don't know what the settlement was. But I just want to conclude by saying that they're disrespecting Prince because he didn't have a problem with it. And so why should they be seeking around like vultures trying to take something from a woman who has worked hard for 40 years?
Listen, I feel you on that. We are actually in agreement, Eric. Let's get an applause for that. Shout out to that. It can happen. Anything is possible. We always appreciate you calling in, Eric. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Joe.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
And let me share a comment too. If you have anything, including your name, image, likeness, all that, just own it. Because Prince was a great creative, and he created Apollonia, Vanity, all at the time. He created it, and really, he owned it. And so you got to wrestle that stuff back, going forward, because once the guy is gone and you got a bunch of lawyers in the room, they're going to say it's ours and we want it and it ain't yours no more.
They're not going to care.
So own your stuff.
Got to get it on paper.
Own your stuff, yep.
Listen, really quickly, I want to get into this topic, and we will probably, if we need to come forward, roll it over. But I mentioned that Kenya Barris and Mike Epps have announced a new CBS comedy, right? Kenya's returning to network TV. He's executive producing the CBS comedy starring Mike Epps. There's a possibility that Kenya might be starring in it as well. Those are whispers, hasn't been confirmed yet. But the plot is what has some people raising eyebrows. It's two estranged black brothers reunite to sell their grandmother's home after the Eaton wildfire in Altadena, only to learn her caretaker owns it. The themes of it are family, legacy, and forced reconciliation. Right? The Altadena rebuild is the backdrop and ties to, obviously, the real-life fire devastation. This is quick. This is not something that had been in talks. This is something that has developed since we all saw that happen in January. I actually reached out because, if you know, we have a show here on KBLA, Altadena Rising, which is hosted by James Farr. So I reached out to him, and he said, love them both, speaking of Kenya and Mike Epps, but there's not anything funny happening. I'm sure they'll deliver intellectual humor with plenty of message as a through line. However, I don't know how I feel about it. Great for keeping Altadena in the national conversation, though. So that's what he had to say. So I'm just wondering, DH, Andy, what are your thoughts on this particular topic being brought to network television so quickly? I also want to point out CBS The Neighborhood is ending. I think it's been 6 or 7 years of that. They probably thought Papa's House, another sitcom with a black male older demographic comedian leading that, would take in and fill that gap. That's 2, but they canceled that. So we had Said, we have Damon, and now we have Mike Epps coming in at CBS. So what are your thoughts on the subject matter? And Mike is also coming off the success of the Upshaws on Netflix.
I'm not wild about the backdrop. The Altadena fires. I'm just not, and that's all personal because we're here in LA and all that kind of stuff. That kind of story could have been fabricated somewhere else because it's something that happens in other places. But a catastrophe such as this, such loss, I'm not wild about it.
I feel the same. Andy?
Look, I didn't know too much about this story. I saw one of my friends post an article about this, and she was upset about it, and she was just not a big fan of capitalizing off of the fire. So I kind of agree. It's like, come on, now you're using tragedy as a way to make money.
I feel like it's the epitome of too soon. Too soon. I think lots of things can be funny, but sometimes time and place has a lot to do with it. Right? Forrest Harris in the chat says Papa's House was actually pretty good. I think it had its moments. I think that it probably needed some time to adjust and maybe fall in line, But I was shocked, as much promotion as they put into it, that they pulled it so quickly. We'll have to see. Yeah. Urban Spencer says, I did hear The Neighborhood was being canceled, but CBS is promoting that it's coming back. I think it has season 7, I believe, is the final one, and there are some spinoffs that are taking place from it potentially. But I don't know if it is so much that they canceled it, but a mutual, hey, Said and Tashina may be tired of those particular roles and being on network television 22 episodes for a traditional season, which is much different than some of the other things. Maybe there's other projects they want to move around to. Cedric recently had his residency with Toni Braxton in Las Vegas. So, there's lots of things there. When we come forward, we'll get into more trending topics and headlines. You're locked in with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
You're riding with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
If you're an adult in need of accredited high school diploma, the Los Angeles Public Library can help. You can earn one for free in as few as 5 months online with 24/7 access. You also get a personal academic coach plus special training focused on 9 in-demand industries, as well as a resume and cover letter to advance your career. Visit the website at lapl.org/diploma. That's lapl.org/diploma.
Ready to order?
Yes. We're earning unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with the Capital One Saver Card, so let's just get one of everything.
Everything?
Fire everything! The Capital One Saver Card is at table 27 and they're earning unlimited 3% cash back.
Yes, Chef! This is so nice.
Had a feeling you'd want 3% cash back on dessert.
Ooh, tiramisu!
Earn unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with the Capital One Saver Card. Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. LA County's new Justice Care and Opportunities Department, or JCOD, is here to support justice-involved individuals and their families. The JCOD Support Center is now taking calls at 1-833-LACJCOD. That's 1-833-522-5263. Available 7 days a week from 6 a.m. to 11 p.m., the Support Center is your one-stop shop for re-entry issues and court support. They offer court reminders, connections to local services, transportation assistance for housing, court appearances, and childcare. The JCOD hotline provides personalized help to connect you with services that you need. And don't forget to check out justiceconnect.org for more information. Remember, it's free and available every day at 1-833-522-5263. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
The California Crusader newspaper would like to thank all of our subscribers for their support throughout the years, proudly serving the South Los Angeles and South Bay areas for more than 40 years. The California Crusader is a multicultural, black-owned, adjudicated newspaper that focuses on providing newsworthy information to the people in our community. We're constantly looking for ways to assist businesses in our community to connect with our subscribers. We provide low-cost, effective ways to promote your business with our reasonable and affordable advertising rates. You can participate by suggesting, sharing, and submitting your stories on the California Crusader newspaper Community Share Facebook group page, or visit our website at cal-cruise-news.com. That's calcruisenews.com. Then click on the Submit Now button located on the top right corner of the homepage, or text CCN to 42828. Again, text CCN to 42828. The California Crusader newspaper, working together to build a better community for our future. Subscribe today.
You're listening to Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Welcome back in. You're locked in with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580. All right, we got 2 more stories. One I will really quickly breeze through. The other we're going to spend more time with. So, Marvel Studios is leaving Georgia, since 2014, and Ant-Man. They have shot most of their interiors there, including at Tyler Perry Studios, taking advantage of the state tax credits. Now, starting with the Fantastic Four First Steps, the studio is moving all of its major movie productions to Disney's London lot. So the upcoming UK shoots include Spider-Man, Brand New Day, and 2 Avengers sequels. The shift reportedly is because of cheaper labor, no health insurance requirements for the UK crew, and rising cost in Georgia. Now, it's interesting that this is coming as Georgia has become noted as Hollywood's South, not primarily, but largely off of Marvel's billions, right? Losing Marvel means losing jobs, prestige, potentially political leverage. So just putting that on your radar. So that's that. Now, let's get to the thing. We talked about this when it was first starting. As a matter of fact, this topic, Target, was the catalyst for Damon and what eventually has become all up in the business Wednesdays. Target, the boycotts appear to have worked, right? Net sales are down $25.2 billion in Q2, 0.9% year over year. Comparable sales dropped by 1.9%. Operating income is down 19% to $1.3 billion. And their CEO, Brian Cornell, he joined Target in 2014 and initially helped stabilize the retailer. he has stepped down. Now, we know that they face serious consumer backlash after rolling back DEI programs in alignment with Trump's agenda, and it triggered boycotts. Inflation and tariffs compounded the pain. And Cornell stepping down as of February 1st, 2026. The COO, Michael Fidekel, not sure you pronounce that, he's set to take over. And in his statement, he pledged an urgent commitment to drive growth and deliver better results. So, is this just more of a leadership shuffle? Somebody has to take the fall? Or are they seriously looking at what they did to survive, in quotes, under the new administration? And
yeah, I think, he had a good run. He had a good decade run with Target being an executive. He got them through, great growth. And so I do think there is a portion of it where he is going to have to take the fall, for some of the things, because he's ultimately the person in charge, despite what the new administration is all about. So he hasn't been able to weather the storm. And when you think about voice, he has probably lost his voice with the stockholders. He's probably lost his voice with employees, et cetera, because it's just tumultuous. And I'm glad that you mentioned on top of inflation and on top of tariffs. So retail overall is just struggling a bit right now. But I will say, if the goal of the goal of the boycott was to decrease the revenue, it is. It has a lot to do with that, 22 or 12.5 billion drop and a 20% drop. And so the new person is Chief Operating Officer, so he has to retool how business is and navigate and understand the Trump effect, because this dude's only been in office 6 or 7 months. And you have to have people sitting in Washington knowing what's happening with him even before he says it. So there's a whole new way of business that big box retailers, and I'll add Walmart and even TJ Maxx, Marshalls, all of these big, Ross, all of the big boxes have to figure out this tariff thing and inflation. So the chief operating officer stepping in, he'll clean that thing up. It's probably going to be some people getting fired, layoffs, because he's going to have to do something to raise the stock price and then have confidence with stockholders.
But, I mean, so realistically, right, we talk about our flex, our buying power as a black community, and I don't know how much, and there's probably no way to really know how much of this is a result of our boycott and how much the tariffs and all of that also are impacting it. But my question has always been, and will continue to be, now what? Right? What's next? What is our ask? Because though the CEO is out of there, does that mean we're back in effect, or what does that look like? We know we've lost some revenue, but what do we want in return to bring our business back to target? I don't know if that's clear.
No, and seldom is it clear, because what we tend to do is identify a problem and a negative action versus a solution and positive action. So this new regime CEO, they're not going to change the narrative of what they've done. They haven't said anything, really, and they'll continue to not say anything because there's not a whole lot to say, because there's no new stuff happening. So if you want to do better marketing campaigns and advertising and all of that to help drive some stuff, that might be interesting. But for us on our end, we don't have those type of agendas. We don't take those agendas to target board meetings or target stockholder meetings and say, hey, this is what we want, because you know that we can move the needle, because we can. The issue is, can we do it? Can we sustain it? And do you have to really count us as a viable mover of all things business?
Because Walmart hasn't experienced this, right? And I think of the fact that though they knew it was coming and they stand where they stand, they also had Busta Rhymes in some of their commercials. They also had Nia Long and Lorenz Tate in a Love Jones-esque reunion of them, which I feel was preemptive, Right.
And that's what I mean by the marketing and advertising. You can fool a consumer. And so if Target were to do that tactic, I think it will fool a lot of people. It'll make us forget the real issues, because that's what entertainment is about. It's a diversion. And so I think if I'm Target, I start doing more of that. DEI is dead forever because you just can't avoid the administration. It's a government thing. It's a United States government thing, so you just can't do it. But the way that you still engage with consumers, you got to auto-correct that and do a workaround. And they'll get there. I think they will.
All right. Well, we appreciate you guys locking in here each and every Monday through Friday, 6 to 7 p.m. Shout out to Dr. Nye for checking in. Listen, my show is always packed. You guys know that you're going to get it here first. Your little digital play cousin right here on KBLA Talk 1580. Mr. Damon Haley, thank you as always for joining us. Please tell the people where they can find you.
Oh, I'm easy. Damon Haley. Just Google me. I'm on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and my email's out there. So follow me, or hit me, Damon@DamonHaley.com. I ain't hiding.
There you go. And, go pick up a couple of bundles of Slay Hair 3 Ys. It is fantastic.
Do that.
All right, you guys. Coming up next is Zoe Williams, the voice of reason. As always, I appreciate you for tapping in with me, and I'll see you tomorrow.